Hey, this is Jake and welcome to the third tutorial for SporeBloom. Today we're not doing as much of a design-centered focus, but it's very applicable to anybody who is building a world or a large project, whether it's something interactive, it's a comic, anything to do with world building and a lot of visual assets. I'm going to use the features in CC, so the Creative Cloud in Photoshop, combined with smart objects. And I'm just going to show you how I'm laying out the spores for my project, and a little bit why I'm doing it is because these spore assets are going to be reused many times. They are kind of the language that is going to spawn a lot of the plants. I'll probably have various charts and means of utilizing them. So I want to have them very accessible, and what smart objects do is allow you to continue to edit them while updating it on all platforms. And what we've done now is we've included smart objects in the libraries, so I'll open that up. So the libraries are designed to, on a cloud system, store files that you specify. They can be color swatches or layer styles, but here I've done the graphics element down here. So if you see this little button, if you want to add something to a library, you simply have its layers selected. So in this case, I could have floating text, or I could select the background, hit this little button, and you'll see down here it's been added as a graphic, and right there it just updated. So now that graphic it's stored online, so I can access it from different devices, different computers, so it's always there for you to grab. You can set different libraries, so you can have, I believe, up to 1,000 objects per library, with limits only based on the storage of your account. And then I can drag and drop these assets. So something like a logo you might use very commonly, you can drag and drop it into your window. And you'll notice that it has this little cloud symbol now, and that's because it is using a linking to the asset library that's still live. So these assets are iterations of each other that are currently identical. Now the idea of combining a smart object is awesome, because it used to be this awkward temporary file that you wouldn't really be able to see, but if you right-clicked and edit it, you'd be able to open up and edit this object that would have the same functionality. But now it seems like it's more visual and it's more tied into this library system. So all of these objects I can open up and edit. So for example, if I go back to my main sheet here, I'm just going to pluck out this guy. So spore number 3, you can see you can rename them here as well. If you double click, you can name the asset in your library. And there's also 2 ways to edit the actual graphics. I could find it in here, like I want to edit number 3. I can double click on it, or double click the cloud icon in your layers. So there is still that, kind of annoying temp thing I explained, where all this jumbleness of letters that's randomly generated. This is a temporary file that still exists on my computer, but when I save this file again, it is still linked with this library, and it's going to update live, not only in my library, but it's also going to update live anywhere I'm currently using it in a document. So I'll quickly show you what I mean. I'm just going to add, say, some new shading on here. So maybe at some point during the project you decide, oh, this graphic needs to change. I need to add some more patterns to it. It will update it across all platforms. So all I'm going to do now is hit Control S, and it's already instantly updated. And down here it's ticking while it uploads on the cloud. So the reason why it's so flexible and fast is because when I hit save on this temp file, it's actually using my local system, saving it there, and updating the Photoshop window instantly all on my computer, regardless of the internet. And when that synchronization is done, that's when it means that object is also updated on the cloud. So I believe this will allow a lot of flexibility, online and offline usage, and you can resynchronize these files. There's a lot of right-click options. You can replace content with something you made offline. But that's why it's so fast, is you can hit save. You don't have to wait for it to finish, ticking down here and uploading while you keep working. It all feels very instant. Now I have another file that also has this Spore, because it's like, why bother organizing and doing all this work? Well, I'll show you a little bit why that's really great. I'm going to end up with an assortment of different files in my project as I explore what these really pivotal icons are going to interact with and create visually. And I need to be able to possibly update multiple files. So if I do change my mind and I want to change the graphics or the shape of one of these pivotal icons, I'm not going to have to dig around and update all of my PSDs. I'm not even going to have to drag out of my libraries each change that I've made. So when you see that this one is not yet changed, it's kind of like a fail-safe system in case you're collaborating with other people. Maybe you don't want to update everything instantly. So what it'll do instead is give you a content warning here. You see that little yellow label? So if you right-click on that, you can go Update Modified Content, and boom, it pulled it in from the library, and now it's up to date. The little cloud symbol is back, and that's how you can kind of maintain consistency in all of these changes across your whole project. And for example, for a SporeBloom, these plants are just really quick doodles I did to demonstrate how I'm going to utilize it to organize my libraries, because I need not only this master sheet so that I can keep my eye on the big picture, make sure they're all working together. I don't want all of these PSDs that are all scattered everywhere, because that would be a big pain in the butt to constantly save JPEGs just to get a preview, or have all of these PSDs open. It's kind of annoying. So the reason I do that on a second note is that when I do have separate sheets, it's automatically going to keep them all updated without me having to micromanage these changes. Because I'm planning to have probably 100 spore shapes, if not more, and I really want this system in place to save me a lot of time down the road. So a couple more quick things. I'm just going to actually find that other image here, my temp one. I'm going to undo that change I made, if possible. So we're going to undo back to where it was, hit Control S, and now it's saved on everything. I can close this safely. It's changed on this file, it's changed on my Spore library, and it's already synchronized here. So I'm going to close this one. I haven't really changed anything because it's all stored online anyways. So it even cuts back on the amount of saves you might have to do. So when it comes to adding new graphics, I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to first get rid of this temporary graphic I made during setup. So I'm just going to right click and go to delete, and it'll sync and get rid of the whole thing. So we're going to go back to the graphic we want to add here. All you need to do is select the layers you want. So you could have floating text just by selecting the top layer, but I'm also going to select the background. And there's this little button that is for adding graphics. Now you simply click that, and it's going to add it to whatever library you have. So you can see it updating. I have my selected library there, of course. You can shuffle these around between libraries. A lot of well-rounded features, I think. And now it's updated and it's ready for use, ready for, dragging and dropping. And of course, with a smart object, you can resize this thing small and then make it large again, and it retains those pixels because, once again, it's just a reference to what's in your library. You can also add other things like swatches and layer styles, and it looks like there is a character style for custom fonts. I'm primarily using it for graphics so far. Alright, well, I really hope that helped give you a little bit of an intro. There's some more features like artboards that I hope to feature in additional videos once I'm utilizing them. Another great organizational tool that's been added. So I hope you find a creative way to use some of these processes, and it'll help keep your project organized and save you a little time so you can keep creating. Alright, thanks again for watching.